destabilize that nation. What's going on today? The southern border. I'll get into the northern border because that's not really a topic that they talk about. But we have people coming across the Canadian border as well. There's video that I've seen. We'll jump over to the UK. In 1997, they banned handguns. And now just recently, September 24th, next month is the deadline, but they are to turn in all their knives. Because after taking guns away, knives became the next thing to kill people. Because evil is evil. The guns aren't the problem, it's the person behind it.
Quick things for you all. Yes. How many of you are aware of what's really going on in Lansing? Yeah. And the reason for that is the news is not covering it. There are 4 boxes. There are 4 boxes that our forefathers had. The first box was the soapbox so that we could speak. The second box was the ballot box so we could vote. The third box was the jury box. And the fourth box was the cartridge box. I'm not advocating that we have a revolution or anything, but I would tell you this. It is crucial for you to vote this election. It is absolutely crucial for you to vote in this election. The reason for the Second Amendment is to protect the First Amendment. And our religious liberties are being taken away one by one. And our law enforcement is being perverted to put down citizens and allow them to live a free life as it was designed by the Bill of Rights and our Constitution. The Declaration is the philosophy of American law.
Enthusiast here?
Yeah!
My name is Pastor B. I'm the pastor of the Armor of Light Ministry in the Armory Church in Pontiac, Michigan. Just to give you an extremely quick overview of our church, our missions are called platoons. That's all I'm going to say. Look it up. In 1997, a year after my first enlistment, I was sitting on the top of a 727, 34 feet in the air, and I was working with a senior mechanic who was an Air Force veteran. Very soft-spoken guy. Unlike me, he would never cuss. He had a lot to say. You know, you get to talking shop with people, and they expand upon things. And he was telling me about the New World Order, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I figured he was the craziest guy I knew. But here we are, you know, we're at the point where we can't even sit down and watch a movie like Idiocracy without looking at your significant other like, we're here. Because we're about there, that, you know, that's how stupid our society is right now. And I get a little bit tired sometimes of hearing some conspiracy theories because people kind of create their own religion out of it.
First off, I'd like to thank you all for being here. My name is Phil Robinson. I've never been bashful or shy, and I plan to be that way in the future. But first and foremost, tyranny, what does that look like? What does tyranny look like to each and every one of you? Tyranny is when you are afraid to exercise your rights as a U.S. citizen. Tyranny is when you're afraid that you are going to be brought up on some bullshit charges. Tyranny is when you're afraid to speak your mind. Tyranny is when you're afraid to come to a Second Amendment rally because you will be deemed a terrorist. Okay? Now, I've been doing this since 2015. Started it with my 2 brothers who are still here in attendance today. We've been in this hard fight. They know it more than most of you will ever know what it's truly like to be demonized and to be taken advantage of by a corrupt government who is looking to destroy the patriot movement of brave men and women. And what happened is the militia movement was getting strong in 2020. There was militia activity in Michigan and all over the country in 2020. And then we all know the whole bullshit plot to kidnap Whitmer is what shut it all down. Because we were winning the popularity with the people. Because the people were realizing that we are not what the media portrayed us to be. We are people like you and like everybody else you know. Some of us are just a little more brave, a little more brazen. Some of us just don't care about what is going to be said about us in the news or on the media or what is written about us. But the Second Amendment, people, is the only amendment we have that gives us the right to back up the rest of our amendments. If we don't have that, we have no way of backing up the rest of our amendments, period. Now, in my opinion, the reason they are looking to take away our Second Amendment is because an unarmed populace is going to be way easier to control than an armed populace. I mean, think about it. But tyranny also looks like what happened in 2016 with Leroy Finicum in Oregon. I'm not sure if any of you are aware of what the FBI did to Leroy Finicum and those patriots there. They showed up to the town of Burns with 600 FBI agents, over 200 armed vehicles, and shut down the whole town of Burns over people standing up for their rights. Now, is that tyranny? That sounds like tyranny to me, people. Now, if you are afraid to speak your mind, I understand that. But you know what? What is at risk is a lot greater, what we are about to lose. United people is a strong people. And that is the problem we are having. None of us know how to unite under one. To unite as one means that we got to put aside subtle differences and realize that politicians are not going to solve our issues. It's up to us, we the people, to fix our country. If we want our country back, we can't count on other people to do it for us. We have to take charge and do it ourselves. Boots on the ground. That's been my motto since day one, and that's going to be my motto until the day I die or I'm unable to do this. But we have a rally coming up in Lansing on the September 19th. I'd like to see some of you there. I hope there's a good crowd there, because people, the Second Amendment is disappearing, because this whole time, since, like I said, 2015, each and every year, the Second Amendment rallies have dwindled in attendance. Why? I'll tell you why, because people are afraid. And when people are afraid, you are living under tyranny. Plain and simple. Now, we have two choices. We either stand up and we just have to come together, people. And that's the biggest problem we are facing, is we are not coming together over the tough issues. Because, you know what? I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't think Trump is going to save he's going to be my savior. He's not going to bring America back. Yeah, he might make things a little better for 4 years, but then what happens after that? Then we get some other asshole in there and changes everything up. Okay, change is not coming through a politician, a president. Change is coming through we, the people, period. And the sooner we get that through our heads, the sooner we will see real change in this country. But it is up to us to make the change. You want change, you got to be the change. Now, people, I'm not asking everybody to be like me. But you know what? Showing up to rallies and help support people like me, that helps. That really does help. Because you know what? I have been scrutinized and slandered and libeled for years. Just like I know Joe and Darren, and probably got some slack too from it. Everybody here that's carrying a rifle is going to catch flack sooner or later. But you know what? Who cares? Because it is our right to do so. Now, I am lucky. I live in Berry County, and I have Sheriff Darley as my sheriff. Now, I encourage you all